In this stream, we are doing YouTube channel reviews. So if you're watching this on the replay, I do want to let you know that we're pulling up different types of channels in different types of niches. And what we're doing is we're looking at those channels and we are looking for things that they can do to improve. Now, keep in mind, this is a first impression channel review. So in this information, I don't have access to like their YouTube analytics or anything. So because of that, everything I'm going to be sharing is based on my experience on my channel and working with other content creators to help them grow their channels as well. So because of that, I do want to let you know if you are, just wanting to learn about some things that can really help move the needle for you when it comes to your YouTube channel, make sure if you are watching this on the replay that you skip through some of that information so that you can learn a lot about, YouTube and, different ways that you can grow your channel and maybe even identify some mistakes that you might be making with what it is that you're currently doing or how you are, currently have everything set up. So with that said, I do want to say what is going on, everybody that is here live. So what we are going to be doing here, like I mentioned just a second ago, is we're going to be looking at channels. Now, this is something free that TubeSpanner provides, to help content creators, better understand, the things that they can do to improve when it comes to YouTube. And if you are not familiar with TubeSpanner, what TubeSpanner is I look at it like it's your YouTube assistant, right? So basically they have a link in bio tool that allows you to interconnect all of your social accounts. They have an AI script writing tool. They have an AI chatbot assistant, which is getting ready to be deployed. That's like a little leak that I'm letting you know about that nobody knows about yet, that I accidentally said, but I didn't mean to. But they have that. They have an upload assistant through their browser extension, but all kinds of really cool tools that help you with a lot of different things that the other tools don't currently help you with. So because of that, make sure that you check out TubeSpanner. I got a link down in the description, or you can just go to tubespanner.com. But in addition to that, they also have a notepad feature. So if you are somebody that is already a TubeSpanner user, make sure that you do get your notepads open because, we're going to be looking at channels and you might pick up a tidbit that you want to make a note of so that you can look at your channel and see, if that information applies to you or can assist you in any way. So with all of that taken care of and out of the way, let's go ahead and just get into it. So basically how this works, again, this is something that we do free. And as part of this, how this works is I give you a hashtag. And when you put that hashtag in, then all you have to do is just put that hashtag and then the system is going to randomly pick somebody. And I'm going to pull it up on screen so you can see it, make sure I'm not, cheating or anything like that. So, so the system is going to randomly pull somebody up on screen and then we pull it up and we look at their, we pull it up and we look at their channel. So, just as a heads up too, as well, this system that I'm using for this is StreamYard's giveaway tool, which StreamYard and TubeSpanner actually integrate together. So if you're a TubeSpanner user, you can also use it as part of your workflow when it comes to what it is that you're doing inside of your StreamYard for scheduling streams and things like that through TubeSpanner's Stream Assistant, which is pretty awesome as well. I use it for all of my streams. So the very first hashtag that we are going to do, let me present my screen here really quick. And you know what, I should put this in my feed, but we'll do that another time, maybe another stream. We'll keep this kind of intimate and private this time. So the hashtag is just hashtag TubeSpanner. We're just going to go ahead and get it started right today and just do hashtag TubeSpanner to make that easy. So when you see this pop up on your screen, just put in that same hashtag. You only need to do it once. And when you put that in there, then it's going to start collecting the entries, as you can see it's doing right now on the screen. And then once we get just a nice handful of entries in here, then we'll go ahead and pull it and we'll pull somebody up and look at your channel. Now, just as a heads up, some channels, I'll spend more time on based on others. So like if I look at a channel, and again, this is like an experience thing. So like if I look at a channel and I'm like, okay, they've got like a lot of stuff that they need to fix, then I'm going to point out like a few things and then we're going to move on. If it's somebody that, that has like a lot of experience, let's say that they're doing all of the right things, then in that case, it might take me a little bit longer, to find some things that they can improve on. But either way, we're going to be, trying to help you get from point A to point B in terms of trying to help you level everything up and improve. So right here, we got 47 entries. I'm just waiting for just like a couple more. And then we'll go ahead and pull this and start looking at some channels. We'll just pull it now. Make it easy for everybody. If you're just showing up to the stream, welcome. And I do want to let you know that this stream is all free in terms of the channels that we're looking at. And we are basically just pulling up channels, giving feedback on, things that people can do better or can, do to improve what it is that they're doing here on YouTube. So the very first one is from Natasha's Nuggets. So give me a second, Natasha. I got to pull up your YouTube channel here. Let me get some of this sorted here. Okay. So let me go over to YouTube for this. So the entry, Potato KA, in order to enter, all you have to do is you have to just put in the hashtag. That's it. Super easy. And basically for the, gosh, there's nuggets. And basically for the ones that we are pulling up, oh, there we go. I saw Natasha's Nuggets actually make a post. That's great. That makes it so much easier for me. Okay, so here we go. And let me change how I'm sharing the screen here so that everybody can see what I'm seeing. Stop screen, present, share screen, and we're gonna go here. Bam. Okay, so let me make that more prominent here. There we go. Okay, so so Natasha, this is Natasha's Nuggets here. And the very first thing, one word from heaven can change your life forever. So one thing that I always recommend, and I'm just going to give you a heads up too, like some of the things I'm going to say are going to be a lot more important than other things. So the things that aren't that important, I'm going to let you know. The things that, you know, kind of help you fine tune things, but they're not going to actually move the needle for you. And then if I'm talking about something that's going to move the needle for you, then I'll let you know. But basically when it comes to your channel art, this is one of those like housekeeping things that you need to do. Even though the message is cool, it's more important to say what it is that you offer, right? And I see here that you're doing like quotes, and I see Leviticus on here, so I'm guessing these are like Bible quotes or something. So with that, you know, one word from heaven can change your life forever. That's cool, and it's kind of there. But one thing that you can do to level that up is just say, you know, daily or weekly or however often you post these, you know, quotes from the Bible. And then that way, when somebody lands on your channel page, either coming through shorts or coming through long form content, if you are making longer videos, then in that particular case, it's more clear to them what it is that you are offering on the channel. Now, it looks like you are doing a lot of YouTube shorts, but I do want to let you know, when people are watching your shorts in the short shelf, then if they click on your channel name there, then YouTube will send them to the shorts area of your YouTube channel. So because of that, I would actually focus this area here on the mobile users that are just, you know, interacting with YouTube on their mobile device and on desktop users. So because of that, I would actually take this shorts playlist off of the top of your channel page, and I would put it somewhere, you know, down here at the bottom, and I would feature the very top of your recent content. That way, like how YouTube works, let me explain it this way, is, you know, when people are, you know, when you publish a video and people are interacting with your content, that helps teach YouTube who's a good fit for your content and who isn't. When you prioritize your most recent uploads, what you're doing is you're making it easier for people to find your recent content if they come from other videos that you have. If they hit your channel page, they see that recent playlist, and then the people that click on the videos from there, then that's one person at a time telling YouTube, hey, this is, you know, this is how this user is responding. So would this be, you know, a good candidate to find other people on the platform that are interacting with YouTube like this person is? So because of that, you know, you want to make sure that you are prioritizing like your recent uploads so that you can use that as a way, at least that feature at the top of your channel page, as a way to, you know, feed people into that more recent content. Now, of course, the biggest wins are going to come from people just responding to your videos on the platform, coming in from YouTube search, coming in from shorts, coming in from home pages, suggested videos. That's where the real wins happen. But this is one of those little details that you go ahead and get in order now while your channel's small and you're just getting started, so that as everything grows and you start getting a lot more traffic around your YouTube channel, you're able to fully capitalize on it, which will help you balloon faster. The next thing is you don't have to put shorts in the titles anymore, just so you know. Also, YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, they've all publicly stated that if you are re-uploading content like this with the watermarks from these other places, that they are going to restrict or suppress the content, and they are going to prioritize content that is original for the platform. So because of that, instead of making these on TikTok and then downloading them and then uploading them back up to YouTube, instead of doing that, make them, save them on your computer or your phone, upload like an original version to TikTok, an original version to YouTube, an original version to Instagram, and so on, so that you don't get that penalty there and risk YouTube, you know, kind of suppressing the content a little bit. Next thing is your thumbnails. right? So one of the things when it comes to YouTube, and you can see the impact of this here, one of the things when it comes to YouTube is one of the most important things is your thumbnail and your title. If you can't get people to identify that your content's about something they care about, and you can't get them to click on what it is that you're doing, then what's going to happen is your videos aren't going to move ever at all. So you have to learn how to make thumbnails that help people, one, identify what your content's about, two, make titles that compel them to click on it. Right? Those two things. So like when you're first getting started, of course you can go all in and be like, okay, I want to make a thumbnail that also might be click worthy and get people to come directly into the content there. That you can do that. But the thing that I recommend people that are just getting started, like in your case, is that you focus on using the thumbnails just to help people identify that it's something that they care about. So in your case, using, maybe religious imagery for, those types of things. Maybe, in this case, because you're talking about winning a fight that the devil starts with you. So in that case, having some type of imagery related to that, it just kind of helps it stand out, where this current thumbnail gives like zero context into what it is that you're actually doing. So this thumbnail and title thing is extremely important. So I'm going to stop here and then we're going to pull up another channel, but I would get to work on your thumbnails and your titles as fast as you possibly can, because it can make a big difference as long as the video content itself is good as well. And then we'll move on to another one here. Okay, so the next one that we are going to pull up, and I'm going to do this one just so I can kind of trick you guys. I'm going to do Tube Spanner 1 is what it is that we are going to use for our hashtag now. So go ahead and put in hashtag TubeSpanner1, and then it's going to go ahead and get you entered into here. This is completely free, thanks to TubeSpanner. So all you have to do is put in this hashtag, and then if your channel gets chosen by StreamYard's giveaway tool, then we're going to pull you up on screen. We're going to give you some, quick tips on things that you can do better. So I'm just waiting on some of these to come in. I need some like game show waiting music. Okay, just waiting for just a few more, and then we're gonna hit the button. Hey, what's up, Paul Peck? What's going on, Shark Scrapper? Larry Snow, what's going on? Hope you're doing awesome. David Hunt, nice to see you in here. Doug Man's Land, hope you're doing great. Okay, so we're at 60, so we're gonna go ahead and pull it here. And we've got, oh, here we go. Zane Shah. Okay, Zane, here we go. So let me go ahead and get Zane Shah pulled up. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find this one. Okay, so Zane Shah. And hey, if you have a YouTube friend, get them in here. Get them in here. Make sure you're sharing this out. And if you are enjoying this so far, make sure you leave a like. And hey, one thing I do want to mention as well, for those of you that are, that are watching this right now, if I'm looking at another channel, just make sure that you're thinking, right, in order to get the best benefit out of this stream for you or to learn the most, just make sure that you're thinking like, okay, this is what's going on with this channel right now. These are the recommendations that Nick is giving to, this person about, these things. So I need to take that information and I need to think about, okay, is any of that stuff that he's mentioning, does that apply to me and my channel and what it is that I'm doing, right? And just take those notes. So let's see here. So right out of the gate, even though they have this, blurb of text here, I would definitely get your channel art together. Like you've got 25,000 subscribers already, 300 videos, so you're doing the thing. But just for that, for the sake of clarity and ease of understanding for people that are going to interact with your channel, and because it's still currently a feature, make sure that you do add channel art here, because that gives you the opportunity, like, you're showing people how to make money and stuff. Like this gives you a really good opportunity to, one, just give instant clarity on what it is that you offer when people land on your channel page. And I see you got 300 videos. So that also lets you know that we do this, where you can focus on the core pillars of content that you have. And another bonus is it also gives you the option to where you can add links into your channel banner as well, so that if somebody's on your channel page, then in that particular case, you can have links. If you have like an email list or something like that, which I'm guessing with the type of content you make, you do. So, so if you have an email list or something like that, you're trying to get people into, then in that case, it would allow you to add that. It would allow you to add that link. I'm going to check here to see if you have. Yeah, see how you have these links down here? They're not showing up on your homepage because you don't have that. Because you don't have that channel banner in there right now. So just make sure that you do that when you get the chance. Next. So we have videos, 19 hours, 1 day, 3 days. Oh, you're uploading a lot. That's cool. So one thing, just as a heads up, you are featuring your most recent content up here, which is definitely the right thing to do. And really quick, I do want to let you know, if you are just joining us, we're doing, free channel reviews here, thanks to TubeSpanner. TubeSpanner is the YouTube channel that we're doing these on, and we're going to be doing these on a regular basis. So make sure you subscribe here if you haven't yet, for the stream. And if you're like, what is TubeSpanner? I've got a link to TubeSpanner down in the description where you can go see what it's about, or you can just go to tubespanner.com. It's a YouTube tool that helps you in like a ton of different ways. You can even share your content to other platforms without having to leave YouTube. It's pretty awesome. So make sure you check it out. But anyway, yeah, I would get the channel art together for sure. Next is, if you look at the blurb that you're currently using, and this is the same thing, it's going to show up on mobile devices too underneath your profile. You have here that your name is Zane Shah. I'm a full-time e-commerce seller sharing my journey, I'm guessing is what that says before it gets truncated. So keep in mind, this is valuable screen real estate because it gives context into what it is that you offer. So because of that, your name is already here. You don't even need to say that part. So what you might want to do here is just leverage this to just explain a little bit more about what it is that you do and how it benefits the viewers that are interacting with your content. But as we keep going down, let's talk about the stuff that really matters. So we got $200 daily, 2023, start free and become full-time eBay seller in 30 days. Exactly how I built an online business worth $1 million. My story, millionaire before 30. eBay product research. So a couple things just really quick. So right here on this particular video, like you're doing all right here in terms of the views that came in from it. But one thing to keep in mind is, when you're putting text and thumbnails, you want it to stand out a bit. You can see here how eBay, just based on the colors and everything that's going on behind it, how like eBay and research, how all of those things, how they, just kind of fade into the background and they don't really pop at all. One thing that I really recommend that you do, one, is spend some time on the images themselves, because, you have all of this like color and stuff going on in the image itself that you could, really, increase the saturation of to like help your thumbnails pop a little bit. Same thing with like your shirt. So if you get the opportunity to, or if you can, or if you have the, technical skill to do it, I would definitely spend some time on the images that you're using as well, and just try to get them to pop a little bit more. Like this one actually looks, okay. But this one right here, you can see it's just like a lot duller. Even with this, you could use this like maroonish color that you have, and just kind of, saturate it just a little bit more, just to kind of make the whole image a little bit more vibrant. And also when it comes to your thumbnails, because remember, right, the whole thing is about grabbing attention about the things that the people you're trying to reach care about. So like in this case, how you have that $200 in the black. So imagine if somebody is on YouTube, right? And they are looking at your, here, we'll actually do it. Give me a second. I'm going to use TubeSpanner, and I'm actually going to show you how to, I have to take your thumbnail for this. So give me just a second here. My little, there it is. Okay. So give me 1 second. I'm just going to show you here, like what this looks like on a home page. I just have to do something here to grab the thumbnail itself. And I can't do that publicly because I actually had a video where I got in trouble for doing that. Default, bam. Okay, this is going to be a small one, but it's okay. We'll do it anyway. I'm just going to put thumbs in here. We'll use that here. Still 1280 by 720, but it just kind of looks a little small. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just show you something and just kind of use this as an example. So I'm going to, and I'm not sure, I might have to actually like close the screen here, but basically I'm going to choose the thumbnail file. Let me go in here. Oh, you can't see that. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm going to go into thumbs, and then I'm going to grab your thumb image, and your thumb image is going to be right here. Now, what this does is right now I'm just going to leave catchy title in here. But what this particular tool does inside of TubeSpanner is it lets you preview your thumbnails before you even publish your video, so you can see how they stand out against other videos on YouTube. Check this out. So if you look at the thumbnails that are on the screen right now, I'm going to hit preview, and then you can see yours popped up over here, right? So what you can do in this particular case is it just overwrites, and this is random. It puts it in random spots. So that first one, top left, but it puts it in random spots. So what you can do is you can say, okay, here's my video against like other thumbnails on YouTube. So when it comes to these thumbnails, like how much does this stand out? And really, like with the picture of you, this actually stands out okay. But if you look at some of the colors down here, like Roberto, he's pulling some of your eyes with the red. This arrow's pulling some eyes. This big white panel over here is pulling some eyes. This one right here, fantastic job. That big up close face shot, that always, is helpful for grabbing attention, like on this one too. But one thing that you want to think about in this situation is when you're looking at your thumbnail, the one we're looking at is up here in the top left, by the way. But when you're looking at your thumbnail, the thing that is the most important to the people that you're trying to reach is that 200, right? 200 pounds, I guess that is, or 200 euros. So like when you are, putting that, I would make that like bright yellow or something like that so that it's like, bam, and it just grabs attention like right there on the page. And then like with the year, not even important really, because that can also be, in the title itself. But, like 200 daily, like step by step or, something like that would definitely level this up, quite a bit. And with that 200 with a, much brighter, vibrant color attached to it. And another thing is if you're doing this via eBay and you're trying to attract people that are already into eBay, then in that case, I would leave that up there and I would just make sure that there's like a white, frame around it or something like that so it stands out. But if you're trying to introduce people to eBay as a way that they can make, 200 daily, then in that particular case, then I wouldn't even put eBay on there because what you're doing in that case is you are letting people know like, hey, we're doing this with eBay before they even click on it, to where some people might have heard things about, eBay or whatever to where they're kind of turned off by it. Whereas, if hey, I'm going to make this video about how to make 200 daily, we're going to be using it with eBay. You could even start the video where you're like, hey, I'm going to be showing you how to make $200 a day. You might have heard, some things about, eBay, or you might have tried it before, blah, blah, blah. And you can, use that when you're going to do this sort of thing. You'd need to do it before, you make the video, which is why it's so important to make sure that you make your thumbnails and titles before the content. But when you are making the video itself, then in that particular case, they would need to come in there in order to learn that, that you're actually doing it with eBay. But if it's people that you're trying to reach, then I would put a little bit more emphasis on that too. So for example, instead of having it like you currently do, move the 2023 out of there and then move the eBay down there if that is something that you are trying to bring to their attention, because those are things that help the people that you're trying to reach, again, identify that your content's about something they care about. Another thing I want to bring to your attention is if you look at, these thumbnails right here, right? So you're holding this money right here, and this money is another thing that's going to grab the attention of the people that you're trying to reach. So just like this person or whoever makes the thumbnail for them, I'm not sure if they're doing it themselves, but you can see they cut themselves out here. They made themselves big. They have some of this information here going on in the back, a little bit of text focusing on, that thing in the back. And they also cut this guy out, right? So they put a lot of time into putting this thumbnail together. And the idea that I'm trying to express is right here where you're using this cache, take the extra time and, make the cache bigger, maybe bring it closer to the camera. You can do all that in Photoshop, but maybe bring it, closer to the camera. So then you have the big 200 daily up there. You have you, with the money in their face. And then, you're kind of off to the side there where they can still see it's you behind. And then that way it just makes it a much more, like wham thumbnail in terms of grabbing the attention of the people that you're trying to reach, with your content. Let me go back to the channel here as well. Let's see if you're enjoying this so far, by the way, just give this a thumbs up. Just that's my feedback mechanism. The next thing I want to bring to your attention is right here. You have, when we come back to your channel, right here, you have the next playlist as your popular videos. This is fine. But keep in mind, these videos are all dated, like all of these are over a year ago. And, you got some in here that are over 2 years ago. So because of that, one thing that you might want to do is go into your channel, because again, you've got activity, stuff's going on here in your channel. So go into your YouTube channel, go into your YouTube analytics, look at the content that's bringing in the most viewership right now over the last 30 days, and go look at the specific videos and start defining like, okay, what are the videos that are bringing in the traffic? Are they, TikTok videos? Are they Shopify videos? Are they eBay videos? Are they Amazon videos? Like which ones are bringing in the most traffic? And then have your videos here like you currently have, and then put a playlist of those videos here, and then a playlist of the second most viewed videos here, and then a playlist of the third, and so on. And the ones that are bringing in the most traffic. And the reason you want to do that is because when people are enjoying that content, they're hitting your channel page, you want to make it easy for them to find, more of that content. Also, start free and become a full-time eBay seller in 30 days. You made it kind of clear there too. I didn't see that in my my preview thing that I was doing. So you did make this super clear that it's eBay. So here you wouldn't even need to have that eBay in there. And another thing when it comes to thumbnails is you want to make sure that you are thinking about what is the one thing. If somebody could only focus on one thing in my thumbnail, what would that one thing be that I would focus them on? And then use your colors, use like leading lines in your images, things like that in order to like focus them on that thing, focus their eyes on that thing that's going to be most important to them. And like this one too, right? Same exact thing. House sellers are making $50,000 a month. Here you have yourself, which is going to grab attention. But then you have this right here, super small. Like make it big, right? Make sure they see it because that's the thing that you're trying to grab attention for this video for. It's like the whole purpose of this, right? Is like, hey, this is how they're making, 50,000. So by focusing them on this and making it bigger and more prominent, then you're ensuring that they're going to see it instead of just gloss over it if it hits them in their mobile feed or on a desktop. And then here, another thing, and this is more of a design, situation here. But one thing that I would test is I would use, TubeBuddy has their A/B testing tool that you can use for this. But one thing that you can do here is you see how somebody needs to look over here and then they need to look over here to see these different screenshots. Another thing that I would experiment with just through an A/B test, you can also do it manually just by changing it, looking and seeing your, real time, how people are responding and then going in your traffic sources, making sure they're responding in the right place and all of that. But one thing that you can do here is take both of these screenshots and put them on one side and then scoot yourself over to one side or the other. And from doing that, it'll keep those screenshots like focused into one area, keeps you focused into another area so that it's clear, like you're grabbing attention with these things. And then the secondary, focus would be you. And then right here with like the free start, doesn't give a ton of context. So because of that, if you are trying to reach people interested in drop shipping, you've already got it in your title. More impactful text, in my opinion, would be drop shipping. Right? Instead of having free start, just put drop shipping because the people that are interested in drop shipping, like that'll stand out to them and you might be able to pull them in that way. So like you can see here, this is another example in your thumbnail. So in this particular one, another thing that I would do as well, because you are upfront and prominent, you don't need to do this, but it'll just help people, be focused on the right things, is you have the image here of the actual screenshot from Amazon and you have you. Both of those are prominent. One thing that I would do, because it's not really relevant to what it is that you're doing here, and I know it's retail arbitrage, but this isn't like important for the thumbnail. Just these two things are. So because of that, if it's not there already, it just doesn't look like it is currently. I'd put a little bit of a blur, just a minor one, so you can still tell that it's a retail shop, but just a little bit of a blur. So it just kind of helps you and that image pop out just a little bit more. But in your case, I would definitely work the heck out of your thumbnails. And I would just spend more time just thinking through like, okay, if this shows up on the homepage of somebody that is, interested in, these subjects that I'm talking about in this video, like what's the one thing that I can really focus on that will help them identify that this content is something that they might be interested in. And then like just take all of your efforts for that thumbnail and put it together. Like if you look at my thumbnails, when you look at them, they might look like they're super basic thumbnails, but some of my thumbnails will take me like an hour to make, 2 hours to make. It just depends on what's going on. Even the dumb ones where I'm just like sharing like, hey, here's like a before and after screenshot with like me over on this side, like those types of things, like just getting the right shots, cleaning them up, putting them in the right place, changing colors in the background. Maybe even in some cases, I'll adjust the colors of my shirt, things like that in order to make it pop a little bit better. Like thumbnails are super important. And I cannot stress enough how much of a game changer it can be for the performance of your YouTube channel if you learn how to make more effective thumbnails. Let's see here. Jerry says, how long did it take with the one with the YouTube thumbnails coming out of your mouth? That one was actually pretty fast because that one, it was just tilting the logos. And then I just had to add a little bit of shadow, to the one that was actually coming out of my mouth. But just a couple things I want to check here really quick in Zane's case. So you're uploading, like mad on here, which is fantastic. I love it. I love aggressive content creators. Like, hey, I'm out here trying to get it. I love it. Yeah, so all of this is solid. Yeah, definitely working on your thumbnails for sure. Because you can see, like, with a lot of your thumbnails, like this one's a lot more focused. It looks like you did put that work into this one a little bit more. But like this one, you see how there's no like real focus. It's just kind of stuff is all over the place, and there's no real focus on like, you know, what to look at in that thumbnail. This one's a lot more focused. It's messy, but it's focused. So in that case, it's fine. You know, because it's focused and it's clear for the viewer. So I would definitely, you know, spend some time working on your thumbnails. Okay, you're doing shorts, which is good. See if you're streaming. You're not using templates, which is fantastic. Another thing as well, just as a quick tip for you. So since you are doing content around making money, let me pull this back up on screen real quick. Since you are doing a stream around since you're doing content around making money, then one thing that you also want to do is start categorizing your content, not just in this, but like, you know, how to make money with Amazon, how to make money with Amazon drop shipping. Like one playlist is all of your videos and all the different ways that you can make money with Amazon. Another playlist is, you know, how to make money with Amazon drop shipping, or how to make money with drop shipping. Another one is how to make money with eBay, how to make money with eBay reselling, how to make money with eBay retail arbitrage. Like when you have more than like 3 videos, put them in a playlist and start filling those up. And the reason that you want to do this is because, one, people will come to your playlist page and they'll look for content. In addition to that, playlists are also like creating content. So every time you create a playlist, it creates a new unique URL for YouTube. Those playlists can come up in YouTube search. They can get recommended next to other videos on YouTube. In some cases, they can even come up on Google. So when you have a playlist, it's active, people are actually watching video after video after video, then YouTube can start prioritizing those in different places. So you want to make sure that you are not missing out on that. And YouTube is putting a lot more emphasis on playlists now than they used to. They just redesigned the playlist experience in terms of the page where you actually go into the playlist. And in some content, another thing that they're doing is they're actually putting, like, let's say you're on your phone and you're going through the mobile feed. One of the things that they're doing is they're putting a little tag directly underneath the thumbnail that has a title that is the playlist title, and then people can click directly into that playlist as well. So one thing that you want to think about when you're putting your playlist together is just start thinking like, okay, I have these 3 videos on this one topic, so I'm going to put those 3 videos into this playlist, and then I'm going to make the title something that if the people that I'm trying to reach were to see it in their mobile scroll on their, home mobile feed, then in that particular case, it would stand out to them, and it would be something that the people I'm trying to reach would be interested in, and they could click directly in that way. And then by doing that, you're going to also make your content more accessible that way, where it'll be easier for people to come in and just binge watch your stuff, which will help you get more views, watch time, add your subscribers. If you're selling anything, it'll help you sell more. It'll just help you do better, like, overall. So I would definitely, do that. You are updating your community feed on a regular basis, which is fantastic. I like how you're mixing in some like personal items and things like that. Yeah, you got courses that you're selling. Let's see here, 2 days ago. Okay, yeah, you're using this like all the time. That's great. So one thing that I'm not seeing here is I'm not seeing videos. So another thing that you can do is when you find videos on your channel that I love that you're putting this personality stuff in here, because this is like, hey, get to know me, get to know like the stuff I'm into, things like that. I love that. But one thing that you are missing is you need to also link videos in your community feed. The reason for that is because this gives you the opportunity, because these videos will show up just like all these other posts that you're making on people's home pages, their mobile home screen, stuff like that. So what you want to do is you want to work into your cycle of all the different posts that you're making, work in posting videos and playlists into your community feed as well. So what this is going to do is it's going to help you pull people in, not just to interact with an image post, but this is going to help you actually pull people into video content, so that you can, again, amplify views, watch time, everything else. So the way that you want to approach this is you want to take the videos on your channel that have performed well in the past in terms of audience retention, and in terms of if you can, if you have videos that have done well where people get all the way to the end and then they click on your end screens and watch more content, prioritize those videos put them here, and just say something easy like, hey, you know, a lot of people are really enjoying this video, so I wanted to share it here to make sure that you get a chance to watch it as well, just in case you missed it. Go ahead and check it out. You know, just click below to check it out or whatever. And then by doing that, you're going to notice that the community feed itself or that your community post itself doesn't get a lot of activity, but the activity that's going to happen on that video, if you just track it through and you look at the stats of the actual video and the analytics, then you'll see, you know, the impact of that share there. So it's the most effective to design a playlist for it. Like, hey, here's, you know, my 3 top videos on Amazon drop shipping. So if you're somebody that's into that, then, you know, these are the 3 videos that you need to watch, right? Just sell it a little bit. You're an internet marketer, you get it. But you want to just sell it a little bit. And then by doing that, you're going to, you know, amplify everything it is that you are that you're doing there. And then one other thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to look in the description of your videos here. And by the way, if you are just joining us, we're doing free channel reviews right now. And the whole thing with this, how you enter is as soon as I'm done with this channel, I'm going to mention a hashtag and I'm going to show it on screen. All you have to do is put that hashtag in. This is 100% free. It's provided by TubeSpanner. TubeSpanner is the channel that we're doing this on right now. So make sure you subscribe for future streams like this and future content as well. And in addition to that, TubeSpanner is a YouTube tool. So it's a tool for YouTubers. We call it like a YouTube assistant because it helps you in so many different ways. Like you can share your content to other platforms directly from the YouTube interface using the browser extension. You can use their AI script writing assistant. They have a link in bio tool to where you can, or a social bio tool to where you can, you know, interlink all of your accounts together. You can actually see mine, you know, right here. But tons of different tools that'll help you in a lot of different ways with what it is that you're doing with your YouTube channel. So, looking at your, let's see here, description here. So one thing, YouTube recommends that you do a paragraph, and this is just a quick best practice thing. YouTube recommends that you do a paragraph or 2 of, you know, just informative information about what's happening in your video. You want to make sure that you do that. And the reason that you want to make sure you do that is because in addition to your video and, you know, what YouTube is seeing in your videos and how it's captioning and interpreting what it is that you're saying, as well as your title, your description also gives a little bit of context to the system and of course to viewers that are interacting as well. And the snippet that you put down here in the video description, that can show up in different places also. So you just want to make sure that you are, you know, fully filling out your description. Do it in a way to where you're using keyword rich language, but do it in a natural way. So you don't want to stuff a bunch of stuff down there. You want to write a description, but you want to do it in, you know, in a keyword rich way. In addition to that, I think you're missing an opportunity here. Like you are somebody that is showing people how to, make money online essentially. And here you have, like, hey, this is how you, register your, your limited company. This is your, course that you're selling. And you might be prioritizing those because you're like, hey, if I send them to something else, then I would take an L, which, technically you could. But, one thing that you are missing out here is you are missing out on, affiliate marketing. So I would definitely make sure that you are thinking like, okay, the people that are interacting with my content, what can I share with them that I can put in some of my videos that would make sense to them? So for example, if you look in my descriptions on my main channel, one of the things that you'll see is I have a section there of YouTube tools that I use and recommend. And then I have, sponsored stuff there. I have affiliate stuff there. I have my own products there. I've just got like a big list of like all the, different solutions that I use to solve problems that YouTubers have. And I make, a great amount of money from those description links. So I believe that you're missing an opportunity by not having a, tools, that I recommend and use or something along those lines down here that you can use as a way to, add more to your bottom line across all of your content, because you've also got 300 and something videos on your channel. So if you're not doing that in all of them, then in that particular case, you could be leaving a substantial amount of money on the table. And I wouldn't just put like, hey, this is my camera that I use, because people, they don't always care about that unless they're a content creator. But the things that they do care about will be things that will help them work more efficiently, things that will help them work smarter, things that will help them, be better at whatever it is that you're teaching them, those sorts of things. Those are the things that I would, put together that list and put it down in your description. So we spent some time on this one. So I'm going to move on to the next one now. Hopefully that was helpful for you, Zane. Congratulations on the success of your channel as well. So just as a heads up, you may or may not know this, but statistically, you're at 25,000 subscribers right now, and most content creators don't get that far. So you're doing awesome. You're doing awesome. So keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. Okay, so I'm gonna mess everybody up here on this next hashtag, and we are gonna do Tube Spanner 3, just in case everybody had Tube Spanner 2 ready to type in there, kind of making it hard for you. And we're putting a Tube Spanner 2 in there. So all you have to do, and this is 100% free, provided by, Tube Spanner, making this possible. So big shout out to Tube Spanner. As you can see, if you look at the content on this channel, I've also got some content on this channel that, will show you, how to interpret your click-through rate, how to read your audience retention reports, how to set up your YouTube channel properly, a bunch of content like that. And more of that's going to be coming in the future. But right now I'm just focusing on streaming at the moment so I can add value like we're doing right now during this stream. So just waiting for a few more entries to come in, and you only have to put the hashtag once, by the way. So just make sure that you do put that, hashtag, and then, you don't have to keep putting it in there. Just to save you some, some finger time there if you're typing it on your phone. All right, so we're at 83, so we'll go ahead and click this. And we've got High Fly. Okay, so High Fly, we are going to go over here. Let me pull up your YouTube channel. Oh, I see you posted right here. This is great. Makes it easier for me. Go to channel. Got to do a quick family-friendly check. Oh, why is that loading so slow? Ah, there we go. Okay, yep, we're good. Okay. So let's see here. I'm going to put this up. Can you see it? Yes, you can. Okay, so this one is High Fly. And again, just as a quick reminder, like if you're watching the stream and you're like, oh man, I wish my channel would have gotten pulled up. First, you might be the next one that gets pulled up. But second, when I'm looking at the channels here, another thing that you just want to make sure that you're doing is just taking notes on anything that you hear me say that you think like, oh, I don't know if I'm doing that or not. Or, hey, I should look into that on my channel. Because, the things that you can learn from watching somebody else's channel get looked at, can also make a difference for you as well if you just apply the information to what it is that you're doing. So right out of the gate, High Fly. So I have zero context. So if let's say that I just watched one of your videos on your channel, right? And I land on your channel page right here. Before I start scrolling around, the only information that I have is Dragon Castle Drone shows Sylvania from a totally different, and then it's truncated. And then I have all this High Fly stuff. I do have cinematic drone footage with some special effects, so I do have that, but I have to kind of search for that. So one thing that I would do is I would get this part just ironed out real quick. This isn't gonna like move the needle for you, but over time, this will just make the viewer experience much better for the people that are interacting with your content. And it'll give them instant clarity about like right now, because I see you have like 100 videos, 60 subscribers. So you're gonna make hundreds and hundreds and hundreds more videos. And what happens is when people start watching, videos that you made last year, videos that you're making tomorrow, things like that, for the people that do click, because those are the people that are the most engaged. They're like, hey, I want more from this person. Let me go see what they have. Let me explore this channel. And if you make it hard for them to know, like, hey, this is recent, right? Like the content that you just watched is what I'm still doing on this channel today. Then, you have the opportunity to lose those viewers to all of the stuff, at least on a computer, all the stuff that's happening over here, right? So for example, they land on your channel page, the page loads, and then they just happen to see this like, oh, hey, Nick put something out. Let me go watch Nick's video. Because everybody should do that if you see that little thing over there saying that I published something. But anyway, again, that's not going to move the needle for you. That's just a little housekeeping thing that will matter over time. And, just little advantages here, little advantages there. Next up, since you are focusing on drones, I would update your profile picture as well. Again, not going to move the needle, just a housekeeping thing. But I would make that a crystal clear shot of a drone, maybe a drone in the sky, something like that, where there's no question like, hey, this is a drone. And the reason that you want to do that is because, like in this chat right now, people are, hanging out in this chat. And if there were drone enthusiasts in this chat, fortunately, I pulled you up on screen, so some people might, check you out there. But if I didn't have you up on screen, but there were drone enthusiasts here in the chat. Your name doesn't say anything about drones. It's suggestive of what you might do, but that could mean a bunch of different things. Whereas if you had like a very crystal clear shot of a drone, then you'd be able to see it in a profile, picture right here next to everybody else in chat. And then, drone enthusiasts would be able to see that and be like, oh, is that a drone? Let me see what this person's doing, right? So, so if you are somebody that's active on YouTube in terms of, comments and live stream, stuff like that, I would definitely do that. Again, minor advantage, but over time, you'll get people here and there. Next, same thing in your case, I would move your shorts down here to the bottom because YouTube has, that shorts area that they've already put together. And, you can still drive people in there, from your channel page, but I would focus the channel page more on the actual video content as long as you are still uploading video content on a regular basis. The next thing is I think what it is that you're doing with this footage is better than what it is that you're doing, or not this footage, but this thumbnail is better than what it is that you're doing with these. I see that currently, 2 months ago, this one currently has, more views on it. But one of the things that I would do here, you actually have a few different problems going on. The very first is, if this is about, drones, this right here, Bled Slovenia drone footage, it's an informative title, right? Informative titles will, share what it is that you're doing, and it's better than nothing, right? It's better than this, right? This is not a good title right here. But in this one with the Bled Slovenia drone footage, it's an informative title. It lets people know that is this place and that it's drone footage, right? But a better title would be, let's see here, drones. So let's say, I took this amazing, I took this amazing scenery of Slovenia with my drone. Right. So then that way you are selling the video more, because if it's like, hey, it's Bled Slovenia and drone footage, then it's like, okay, this is informative, but it's like, I took this amazing scenery of this place with my drone. Then in that case, you have the drone in there so people know it's drone footage. And then you are like, wow, this amazing scenery, which then all of a sudden gives somebody that's interested in scenery a reason to click on that video. Right. So here, there's not a huge reason to click on it outside of it just being drone footage. But if you're like this amazing scenery, then that allows you to tap into, additional groups of people. One thing that I have trouble with here in this next one is first the thumbnail. There's like nothing. There's nothing here in terms of any context of what this could possibly, be. I see that you have the drone stuff up here in the, in the text, but the title itself, the 6th of December, 2022, the year of the snake. Like, again, make a title that's an actual title. Right? Like here, Dragon Castle drone shows Slovenia from a totally, I'm going to guess that says like different perspective or something. But like when you have those types of things, it from a totally different perspective. Yeah. When you have titles like this, it creates something for the viewer to where it's like, oh, I want to see that, or that looks interesting, or whatever the thing is. But when you have when I zoomed in, it zoomed in everything. There we go. But when you have a title like that doesn't give, much context, then you can't expect people to be interested in it because they don't even know what it's about, right? There's nothing there outside of the word drone that's written in cursive and hard to read up here in your title that lets them know what's actually going on there. So in your case, what I would experiment with is I would experiment with more imagery like this, and I would actually spend time on these images too. Like I would spend time in like Photoshop, or there's free apps you can use. One of them is called Snapseed. There's another one called Lightroom that's free for people to use as well. You can also do some light image editing inside of the Tube Spanner thumbnail maker as well. But I would just make sure that you are just like really trying to make those images look as good as you possibly can, because that is your advertisement for that video. Your thumbnail is. So you want to make sure that people see that and they're like, oh wow, I want to see this, right? That's the idea there. But yeah, this video right here, you have a video 3 months ago with 19,000 views in it. That particular video right there, you can learn a ton from. So when you have a video, and this goes for everybody here, when you have a video that does well on YouTube, you can learn so much from that video. You can learn in terms of, you can go into your analytics and you can learn, okay, where did I get traffic from in this video? Where did I lose the audience, or how long were the audience watching this video? How was my click-through rate for this particular video? And you can start to just paint a picture of what performance looks like for your type of content for the audience that YouTube is showing it to. And you can really learn a ton from, going in there. So I definitely recommend that in your case, that you go into your YouTube analytics and you start looking at all those things that I just mentioned, so that you can just get a better understanding of why this one did well. Because, you have that one on your channel, it's doing great, but you need to understand why it's doing great, because that one gives you targets and other things too. Thinking to yourself like, okay, why do I think this one did great just from a theoretical standpoint for the people I'm trying to reach? Personally, I think it's an interesting title. But one thing that I think you could do to level it up, or just for all of these, is you can see how like here you have like Castle Dragon and it's written in, that like cursive-y type of font. And you have like all of these that you're doing something similar with this font. Keep in mind, when it comes to YouTube, it's more important to be clear and easy to understand than it is to be pretty, right? So what you want to make sure that you're thinking of there is like, if I'm going to put text that looks like this in my thumbnail, I'm actually working against myself, where it would be better if you use this same font that you use for the word drone, and then you use drone, Castle Dragon there. That makes it a lot more clear of, what it is at a glance, which will help people, click on it more. So I would definitely make sure that you are, keeping those things in mind. But yeah, your case, thumbnails, titles definitely need tons of work. I would definitely make sure that you are spending some time on learning how to, make better thumbnails and titles. Because that will move the needle for you. Your thumbnails and titles will move the needle for you in terms of, helping you grow faster in a major way. All right, so we're going to do it again. So our next hashtag here, let's see here. Let's do, here we go. Okay, so this next one, Tube Spanner X. Throwing the numbers out just in case you had a list there and you're trying to copy and paste, trying to make it hard, right? Hey, so really quick, I want to address something. So the Thorhaven Farm says it's weird because my videos with the most views have the lowest retentions and the one with the lowest views have the best retention. Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you why. So when you have videos blow up, they're going into general audience. Okay. So what that means is when you have a video and you publish it and you get 10 views on it, well, you can expect the metrics to be higher, or 100 views. You can expect the metrics to be relatively high on that because it's not getting shown to a ton of people yet. Now, as soon as that video starts getting into more broad audiences, then what happens is it's breaking through all of these different, let me change the view here. It's breaking through all of these different audience thresholds, meaning when you publish a video, YouTube shows your content to the people on the platform that the system thinks are the most ideal fit for that content. That's why everybody has much better metrics when they first publish the video, when those fewer amount of people are seeing it. Then based on how those people respond to it, it goes out to an audience that's a little bit broader. Based on how they respond to it, it goes out to a broader audience and broader audience and broader audience and so on. Now, what happens is when that video is published in that initial group that's predicted to be the most likely to respond to it, when they do, then your numbers are all up. But as the content starts getting into a more general audience, it's because you're breaking through all of those thresholds, and the people that are interacting with your content, even though they're a good candidate for it, they might not necessarily be the ideal people for it, but your content is competing, or it's competitive for the platform as it is reaching through those different audience thresholds. So what happens is when you start getting a lot of activity on a video, a lot of views, then your click-through rate typically goes down and your audience retention typically goes down as well, because you're in front of a lot more people that can respond in those negative ways. So on most videos on YouTube, right when they come out, is when they have the best metrics. And then after that, then everything starts falling apart. And if you can maintain high numbers with tons of impressions, then in that case, your videos are just going to do awesome all the time. But if you can only maintain those numbers for small, perfectly fit audiences, then in that case, for the creators that are stuck in that, area right now, it makes it, to where it appears like your videos should be doing better. But in reality, that core audience of people that should be responding to it the best, they're not responding to it well enough for it to move into more general audiences. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw this. Yeah, man, I've got a video on my channel. It's got like almost 3 million views on it. And I think in some traffic, I think on home pages, my click-through rate on that is 1 something. And then my retention is abysmal on it. But I mean, it's got 3 million views, of course, right? But if you look at the first 7 days, the everything was up. The metrics on it were awesome. Okay, Voice of Public Official is our next channel here that we are going to be looking at. So I'm going to see if I can find this one really quick. Voice of Public Official. Got it. Okay, let me bring this over here. Voice against the oppressor. Okay. So let's see here. So for this one, right out of the gate, Voice of Public Official, raise your voice against the oppressor. This is definitely something that is, I think your message is pretty clear here. But one thing that I do want to bring your attention is just for the sake of appearances, if you wanted to, not going to matter, but if you wanted to, you could, just kind of fade this out or something so it blends better here. I'm guessing you're uploading this on a mobile device and you might not have seen this, but I would definitely just kind of fade this in. It'll just make it look better. It won't matter in terms of channel performance or anything, but it'll just make it look better. The next thing, 2,000 subscribers. Okay, you're going. I was going to say, when it comes to the stuff that you link to off the homepage, one thing that I always recommend to people is if you're going to link to something off of the homepage, make sure there's a benefit there. This is another example where if you have the Tube Spanner social bio link, then you can put that there and then people can find everything with just that one link instead of having to just fill out a bunch of different links that they have to click on. So I definitely recommend, using one of those there. But as we are scrolling down the page, this channel, in this channel, I will upload many entertaining videos like public questions. So this is just a nuanced thing when it just comes to language. So here you say in this channel, I will upload. So instead of that, just say, I wouldn't even put it on this channel. I would say Voice of Public Official does, shares entertaining videos that, fill in the blank. And just try to make it, super short so that you can, just add that clarity there as well. Next is your thumbnails. So this is one of those situations to where, again, you are there's a few things that I need to look at right here. Okay, so first off, you have 8 days ago and 9 days ago, you have Voice of Public Official intro. This is not content. Unlist this is what I recommend. Do what you want, but I recommend that you unlist this. Let me make this bigger here. I recommend that you unlist this because this isn't actual content for anybody. Nobody logs onto YouTube looking for this kind of thing. So I would just unlist this because it's taken up space on your channel where people could actually be clicking on real content that will, add some type of value to them instead of that. Here, again, welcome to the Voice of Public Official. Again, unlist it. So I see you're using this in that subscriber spot. So maybe you're using this one in the one where they've already subscribed. So you can still have these show up here, but have them unlisted. Don't private them, just have them unlisted. And then when you have them unlisted, they're still going to show up on YouTube in these particular feature spots that they need to be in, but they're not going to be actual content on the channel because here's the reason that this is important. So let's say that I watched one of the videos on your channel and I'm like, hey, this is pretty cool. And then I come to your channel page and I'm like, oh, hey, what is this? And then I click on this and I'm like, oh, okay, that's not what I was expecting. And then I click on this one. I'm like, oh, it's not what I'm expecting. Okay, yeah, I'll just go watch something else, right? And I'm out of here. So that's why you don't want to pollute your channel with content that doesn't add anything to the viewers. Next is, we want justice. This is all fine, but one thing to make sure that you are thinking of here is we want justice isn't really a compelling title, right? So say what you're doing, say what it is that you're trying to accomplish, put an actual statement of some type here because we want justice again doesn't give context to what might be behind that video. So if that video is you ranting about something, then frame the whole thing around the rant and what it is that you are let me explain it this way. Every thumbnail and title on YouTube, they create an expectation for the viewer. So what that means is if your content shows up on somebody's homepage, then if they're deciding to click on it, then they're expecting something to be behind it, right? They're expecting something out of the video content that they're clicking on. When you have a title like this, it doesn't even create an expectation. So when you're not creating an expectation, then you can't expect anybody to click on it because there's no expectation there for them to create. There's nothing compelling about it. There's no reason that they would, need to click on it. So because of that, I would just try to make everything a little bit more clear in what it is that you're doing there. Also, how you have this branding thing going across the bottom, I wouldn't even waste screen real estate with that. The reason I wouldn't do that is because you can use this imagery to, again, focus on something that the people that you're trying to reach would be interested in. I'm not sure what this says, but one thing that I can tell you that you're doing wrong here is you see how your text here is in English, here it's in Arabic, and then here it's in English, here it's in English, and I'm not sure what you're doing with the rest of the content. Looks like a lot of it's in English. So what you do in this scenario, and you've got another one here, is you also start breaking things on the channel in that regard also. Because, currently YouTube is rolling out like audio translation. So since you know English and you know that language, then one of the things that you can do is you can start making overdubs. So you can have like an English version of your video, you can have an Arabic version of your video. You can also do it in a bunch of other languages as well. And then YouTube will will show those to the right people, or people can select them. And another thing that you can do is you can translate your metadata as well using Google Translate. So and YouTube has that built in for your captions as well, where you can just hit a button, it'll open you up over there, and then you can just paste them back in. But when you are using that, you want to make sure that the core of the channel is all focused on one language. And the reason for that is because, let's say I clicked on this Arabic video and I'm like, wow, this is great. I'm going to subscribe to the channel, but I don't look at anything else. And then I start getting presented this English stuff, or the other way around. Let's say I click on one of the English videos. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And since it was amazing, I'm going to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Maybe I like it. Maybe I watch it all the way in and I leave a comment, and YouTube detects like, hey, Nick is really into this channel. So because of that, they're going to recommend more of your content to me. Well, this might pop up. In the second this pops up, I'm going to be like, what is this? I didn't subscribe to this. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to go and make sure that I unsubscribe. So, you just create confusion in YouTube's system, their algorithm on, who to show your content to, and you make it confusing for the viewers that are interacting with your content as well. Also, if you're going to be putting out like videos that are a minute long, 9 seconds long, 10 seconds long, 52 seconds long, just make them YouTube shorts. Like this might be, hold on, let me hover. Oh yeah, I can't hover from there. Yeah, so no, because it would actually be showing up over there, not in videos. So yeah, so if you're gonna make short videos like that, you will get more reach with those if you just do them as YouTube shorts. But yeah, in your case, like you're trying to, you're also mixing the languages here. Okay, so on your channel, the thing that I would focus on right now is one, single language, just pick what it is, and then translate for everything else, right? So pick the language and then upload your audio and or captions and or translate the metadata to the different languages that you want, but pick a language and roll with that language. If you're speaking Arabic in the videos, then in that case, I would not have the English text there unless you have English subtitles in there as well, because you want people that are seeing that English to be able to listen and hear and understand everything that's happening on the other side of that. All right, so next up on our list here, we've got, and if you're just joining us, we are looking at YouTube channels. We're giving some tips on, things that you can do better, based on what it is that I'm seeing from the outside here. I call these first impression, channel reviews. Let's see here. And all you have to do is put in the hashtag, and the hashtag, and this is free, by the way. The hashtag is TryTubeSpanner, right? So that's the hashtag for this one. So just drop that into the chat. Man, Happy Wheels is fast. Happy Wheels is like on it, bam. Yeah, Happy Wheels got that one in there quick. So I'm going to wait until we get a nice handful of entries here, and then I will hit this, and then we're going to pull up this next channel. Doug says, drop it like it's hot. Yep. Get them rolling. Get them rolling. How many people here are from the news? Actually, I'll let you do this hashtag first. Hey, David, what's going on, man? Okay, 73. I'm going to just wait until we get just a few more, and then we'll pull it. And again, this is free, all thanks to TubeSpanner. You can try TubeSpanner at tubespanner.com. It's a YouTube tool. Helps you in a ton of different ways with your YouTube channel. Helps with your workflow, helps with you promoting your content as well, preparing your content, all kinds of cool stuff. Okay, so I'm drawing it. Here we go. From the news, okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, Charles, 75 in. Let's go find Charles, 75 in. Okay, Charles, I see you right here, so I'm just going to grab it from your comments. See what we've got here. That's weird. Oh, it's loading. Hold on. There we go. Oh, guitar channel. Nice. Okay. So let me pull this one up. Okay. So right out of the gate, I'm getting from this, I'm guessing that this is a guitar channel that you're teaching people about guitar in some way. So I think, like, if you're not going to put text in here, I think, if the whole channel is about guitars, I think this is fine. The reason I think it's fine is because, it at least lets people know it's about guitars. You can level it up by saying, like, exactly what it is that you're doing with guitars. But at the, in terms of, like, effort and what's important, that would definitely level it up. But this is fine. It lets people know, like, you can, if you play guitar, you're into guitars, you can, instantly understand that, imagery there. So as I scroll down the page, let me grab the, oh, this is weird. I'm getting like a weird display thing here. It's not letting me scroll. Huh, that's weird. Yeah, like my scroll bar is gone. There we go. Okay. So let's see here. So first, let's bind this guitar. Okay. So in your case, I think you would be better off not putting text in your thumbnail at all and just showing the imagery of the guitar, like you and the guitar. Reason for that is you have like binding the acid drop Telecaster for Randy Crooks. So you have that information there. One thing that I would experiment with on your channel or on your thumbnails is I would experiment with having the thumbnails with you in it. And then also I would experiment with having a thumbnail that looks kind of like this. But I make sure that you get a shot that is like, the imagery of the thumbnail, or the imagery of the guitar itself that you're working on to where it's a little bit more clear. I'm sure you have plenty of those in the actual video, but I'd experiment with that because this is one of those situations to where you're actually doing something and you're showing people what it is that you're doing. So I would, try to just kind of experiment with that imagery and see if you can, find a way to, make it a little bit more clear. One of the ways, at least, is to remove that text from there because one, at a smaller size, which would mean showing up next to other videos on the platform, as an example, your text is really hard to read, like already at this size. I'm sure on like a phone, it's probably okay, but it's so like thin and with that white and then with everything that's going on in the background, like it doesn't really stand out. So I would focus on imagery. And really, if you're doing like guitar stuff, let's see here, scraping the binding on the fabric Telecaster. Yeah, I can't read the text on this one either. You can see how it gets lost in your hair. So because you're working with guitars, and the imagery of guitars is going to be something that's going to help people that are into guitars, like identify that your content is about guitars. I would focus on just like experimenting for a while on like just using guitar imagery and seeing if people respond to that better. And the reason for that is because I'm looking at this, right? And I see that it's about scraping the binding on the fabric top Telecaster. However, when I see the thumbnail, which is going to be the thing that's going to grab my attention and actually make me read the title, when I see the thumbnail, like I see all this text going on. I see that you're working on something, but I can't clearly see what it is. So because of that, For now, I would focus the imagery on the guitar so that you can ensure that when you're publishing videos, that it's crystal clear to people that are into guitars and that would like to watch this process, that that's what's going on. If there is something where you are doing let's say that you are taking it used to look like this, but now it looks like this. If that's what you're doing, I'm not sure what the binding on the fabric is. But if you are doing something to where it looks different, then in that case, I would also experiment with like a before and after thumbnail. So it's like, this arrow, this, right? This is what it used to look like. This is what I made it look like. And then that way it just makes it a lot more interesting and compelling from the outside. If it's not something to where there is that, like a visual difference, then in that case, just focusing on the guitar would be the thing that I would experiment most there. This is another one to where you have, all this text in here. So the thing, and this applies to everybody. So like when it comes to your thumbnails, if you have to use text to explain what the video is about, then in terms of like you have to write a bunch of words on there to explain what the video is about, then you need to work on the imagery more, right? Because when you are using the text as a crutch of sorts to explain what the video is about, that means that okay, I like the image isn't clear, so I have to add this text here, right? So using text in your thumbnails, all that is fine, if it's done right. But when you are, covering up an image that could help people decide to click on the thumbnail, then it's using it in the wrong way. So what I would recommend that you do is you say here, so a fella got a musical package today. So a fella got a musical package today. That's fine. But when it comes to your title, one thing to think about is like, a fella got a musical package today. I don't know if that means you or, like a person, like some other fella. I'm not sure like what exactly that means. But if it was like you, hey, this package for musicians, came in the mail today, or I couldn't wait to open up this, this musical package that I got in the mail today. And by doing that, it just makes it more exciting, more, just more of a reason to click on it, right? Because a fella got a musical package today. It's okay. It's got some, information there. Since fella is kind of like a slang, word that might kind of lock you into, different areas and whatnot, in terms of just the accessibility of that. But, either way, I think you could definitely, work on the titles as well. But one thing that I would work on, like most importantly, is trying to get out of, needing to put this text on here. So a good rule of thumb, just for everybody here, is if you are going to put text on your thumbnails, try to limit it as much as you possibly can. So, like if you're doing it like thematic to where it's like, like for example, if you look at my news segment, there's a lot of text in those thumbnails, but the image is actually focused on something, or the text is actually focused on like YouTube related language where it's like YouTube. So it helps people identify that, but it's a theme, right? For the newspaper thing. And on some of those, I'll actually change them out later because those actually don't perform well in suggested videos because of this particular thing that I'm talking about right now. So sometimes I'll change those out later if it's going to be something evergreen. But you just want to make sure that if you are going to use text in your thumbnails, you want to limit that text as much as possible. Like if you can do it in like 2 or 3 words, or like, like here, and then like a little arrow going to it or something like that, that's a lot more effective than expecting people to sit there and read your title or your thumbnail, because your thumbnail is an image and it's meant to grab their attention, help them identify it's about something that they care about. And then your title's the thing that will actually, help them make the decision to come into the video. And this is another one, here at this small size, just having a hard time, really being able to define what's going on in here. So, as like you can see here, the guitar, there's, very, defined shape, right? When it comes to a guitar. So because of that, I would try to make sure, just for that instant recognition, right? That's what you're going for here. I would try to make sure that every thumbnail that you use has that like clear shape of a guitar on it, just to, like help you get over that hump in terms of, like, hey, this is how I'm going to, get people to identify that this is about guitars if it's somebody that's interested in guitars. And then they'll be able to look at the title. And then, for people that are interested in, watching the bindings and all of that, then they can click into it from there. Another thing is like, this is a super cool thing to do. but it can also work against you in the way, like it's cool because you're like, hey, you know, these are other channels that I love. So you're just spreading the love. And that's just, you know, it's just being a cool person. However, it can work against you because let's say that I land on your channel, right? And you're just getting started here. So let's say that I landed on your channel. I watched one of your videos. I'm like, hey, this is great. And then I come to your channel. I'm looking around like, what else? Oh, you got some shorts here. Oh, what's this? Channels I love. So these are recommendations from you. Okay, channels I love. Oh, look, this is a big one. I wonder what this person does. I haven't seen them yet. And then they click on here and then like you don't ever see them again, right? So because of that, what can happen is you can actually send people into other content without them having the chance to like really get into yours. So for right now, I wouldn't do this. I would wait until you get, you know, nice momentum on the channel. You got a nice, you know, average view count for every video that you publish. And then if you want to do something like this, that's when I would do it. And for right now though, I would make sure that if somebody comes to your channel page, the only options they have outside of clicking on over here, you know, to leave or going up here and, you know, typing in something else, the only options they have are to either use this menu over here to leave or to click in and watch one of your videos or explore your channel more. Because when it comes to YouTube, and let me explain why this is important. So when it comes to YouTube, you have watch time and you have session time, okay? If your channel is bleeding in terms of sessions, then that's actually a negative thing. So you can, you know, you can have watch time on your videos and that's good, you know, and all that, but you want to make sure that like people are sticking around when they're interacting with your content, because if people hit and then they bounce all the time, then what's happening is you're not able to actually like maintain sessions within your content and you're just sending people everywhere else. As long as they're on YouTube, it's still okay. But the bigger win is when you're sending them within your own content, you start becoming like your own suggested traffic source and things like that. So I would definitely, for now, bring it back later, but for now, I would definitely take this off. Another thing is you got 55 videos on your channel now. Another thing that I would do is I would also start breaking these down into playlists, which you already are doing here for some of them. And I would actually add those playlists as sections on your channel page based around the things that people are currently coming to your channel for. So then it's easier for them to find more of the content that they're interested in by visiting your channel page. Let's see here. Hello, welcome to my channel. Okay, so one thing that I want to bring to your attention as well is if you look at your channel on a mobile device right now, you know, on your phone, you're going to see a similar blurb right here, but you can see that this one is taken up by hello and welcome to my channel. This channel is all about working with, and then it truncates it after the G in guitar. So on a mobile, I'm not sure exactly how that's going to display, but I would double check it. And the reason I'm telling you that is because hello and welcome to my channel, it's personable, but it doesn't add any context. And it's taking up valuable screen real estate that does help people give context. This channel is all about, you know, working with gear on a budget. Oh, I thought that was guitar, sorry. This channel is all about working with gear on a budget. So like when you do that, then what happens, you have all of this space that you're taking up that people could be using to get context about what it is that you do. And this also shows up when people share your content as well. So let's say I was like, hey man, I found this great YouTube channel. I was on my Twitter account and I'm like, hey, I found this great YouTube channel. They're doing all this cool stuff with guitars. You got to check this out. And then I share your channel. The top part of this description is what's going to show up on Twitter. It's the part that's going to show up on Facebook. I think you get 72 characters on Facebook. I can't remember off the top of my head how many you get on Twitter. But basically when people share your content out, that description text in your About Me page is some of the information that they're going to use to decide if they want to click in and follow that recommendation or not, right? So that's another opportunity to kind of explain out what it is that you do with your content for the people that you are trying to reach with it. If you like to have guitar fabric top, send me an email, Guitar Journey. Yeah, and if you're doing this as a service, yeah, I would definitely let them know, because here you see how it has, if you have the guitar fabric, send me an email. So I've been doing like internet marketing stuff for like a really long time now. And one thing that I've learned from having all kinds of different like products online and having to deal with like customer service online is that people, they need to be instructed on what to do. So like in this case, you have, if you'd like to, you know, have a guitar fabric top, send me an email, tell them the actual email address, and be careful though, because if you're putting that here, then you open yourself up to spam bots. Or if you would like to have your guitar fabric top, send me an email through the view email address link underneath this text. And then by doing that, then they'll read that and they'll be like, view email. Oh, okay, view email address. And then they'll click on that. So when you tell them like, this is where you find or how you find my email address, then you'll have more people hitting you up for your service because it's easy for them to be able to contact you. Because even though it seems like people view email address, it's right there, Nick, like how much more obvious does it have to get? You would be surprised. Like as an example, I don't know exactly what it is that you're doing in your videos, but if you make a video on how to do exactly what it is that you're doing here in your content, you're going to have people in your comment section asking you exactly how to do what your video is about. Just how the world is. Like that's how obvious you need to make things, right? So just make sure that you are doing that. But like in your case though, I think the main thing, like I didn't watch the video content, but I think, again, thumbnails, definitely something to work on. Another thing too, just while I have the channel up, is like when it comes to your thumbnails, like, like you have all of these like really cool colors in here. So this is another thing to where, when you get the chance, I would start learning how to use either an app called Snapseed, which is free by Google. There's another free app called Lightroom by Adobe that you can use to like add saturation, add contrast, those types of things, add like sharpness, which will help, give things like a certain look, add clarity, which will help give things a certain look. You can add like vignettes. You can do like pretty much anything you want. But I would definitely start, kind of treating the photos that way too. They don't have to look like they were taken with like some like, super expensive DSLR. But what I'm talking about is just like making the colors just a little bit more rich, adding just a little bit more contrast, just making them a little bit more vibrant. Because, when it comes to YouTube, like if you look right here, right, like this is all the different stuff that you're competing with. And like, look how vibrant, like, most of this stuff is right here, right? Like all of these, all of the stuff that YouTube is recommending, like you can see, except for this one, which is a music channel, but you can see like everything is just like rich in color. It's nice and vibrant. Everything like pops, right? So you want to make sure that you're just kind of following that lead and that you're, like this one, right? Look at this guitar channel right here. Like this is a really good example of what I'm talking about. So here, as I was scrolling down, right, I'm like, okay, this, I see this musician here, come down here, bam. And then the shape of this, and with the guitar right here, like even though they are using a lot of text, like look how that stands out, right here as something that has to do with guitars, right? That's a good example that we get to see here in real time. But, as we continue, you can see almost everything that we're looking at here on the homepage. I'm just going to keep scrolling so we can just kind of keep putting this to the test. But almost everything that we're looking at, with the exception of this one over here, is, pretty vibrant and, pretty focused as well. Like another thing, you see it right here. But most of the content that YouTube is recommending, if you look at this here, and this is why it's important to be a student of YouTube in terms of like, just looking like, it's easy to get caught up in everything, as content creators, but just kind of taking a step back and just like looking at the platform and saying like, okay, like what are people doing? And like, what's YouTube prioritizing? YouTube is prioritizing the content that is competitive for the platform. So when you are looking at this stuff and it's like, hey, like these are, like all of this content is stuff that YouTube is showing to people because it performs well. Wonder why it performs well? Well, because, it stands out, helps people, like it helps grab people's attention, based on colors, things like that. Like here, you have this super, focus on like, hey, this is the car as the primary star of the show. And then you have the person as the secondary, right? In that particular case. So it's grabbing car enthusiasts there. Tourists, people, specifically. And then as you keep going down, similar thing all the way across the board, plasma piano sounds, Unreal, I got shocked, right? And then here you have this like, photoshopped image here, you've got, the weapons, like if you just look at this, you can see that, there's some things do violate that, but almost all of the stuff that we're looking at, here's another violation right here, but it's got 230 views on it. But almost all of the stuff that we're looking at here, it's just simple, it's clean, and it pops, right? So you got to make sure that you're thinking about that when you're putting your thumbnails together, because that can make the difference on your videos performing well on YouTube or not. All right. So on that note, I want to thank everybody for hanging out here. If you did not get your channel looked at, we're going to be doing these more here on the TubeSpanner channel. So make sure you subscribe so you can show up for the next one when they happen. And also because, this is, made possible free through TubeSpanner. So make sure that you do check out tubespanner.com as well. They have a website, which has all kinds of helpful tools in there to help you with your YouTube channel, writing scripts, making thumbnails, like, pretty much all the stuff you have to do as a content creator. And then they have a browser extension that integrates with YouTube to where it makes it easier to upload your videos. You can share your content easily. You can also access, a lot of the tools quicker, through that. And there's like notepads and all kinds of like cool stuff that's just embedded right into YouTube. Even the thing that you saw there about like, how many views per hour that video is getting, stuff like that, where you can use for like research purposes and all that. So make sure that you check that out when you get the chance. I'm going to be doing a live stream on my channel, my regular Nimin Live tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern. So make sure that you check that out. And thanks everybody for hanging out. Hope that you got some type of value from this, and have an awesome rest of your weekend, and I will see you next time.